Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Yes, we can see. Yeah.
Okay, great. So just to give you a uh, quick journey of this entire BA business analyst program, ServiceNow Business Analyst to precise. This is what we are going to cover in next 2 months, 2.5 months, right? So I have divided our uh, entire course into these phases, 6 phases, right? So starting, no, not this one, just a moment. This is the entire roadmap of this training. So we have 7 phases. I'll start with business analyst fundamentals, wherein we will be talking about as a business analyst what all you're going to do. What are your responsibilities? What will be your deliverables? And how you are going to communicate? What would be the stakeholders? And then eventually we'll move to the next part, which is ServiceNow. ServiceNow, before we learn any tool, it is important for us to understand the admin part of it. Be it Workday, be it SAP, Salesforce, or any tool, right? You should know how the administration work in that particular tool. Then we will move towards the core product. So ServiceNow's core product is ITSM. So consider if you have a very good understanding, if you have a very good hands-on on ITSM, it is very easy for you to move to the different parts of or different products of ServiceNow. What is ServiceNow? What are different products of ServiceNow? How do you gain visibility to the different parts of ServiceNow? That we will be covering when we will move towards ServiceNow admin fundamental phase. The fourth phase would be as a business analyst, you will be required to perform, you will be required to write requirements, right? Whatever discussions you are having with a client, whatever information that you are taking, whatever guidance or the requirements will be shared by client, those needs to be documented. So there is a specific product in service now, and outside service now also we have certain products like Jira and other. So we'll have to record our requirements here. So we will learn how to record requirements and how do you run a particular project, right? As a business analyst. So we'll cover that part as well. And then we will move towards HRSD. HRSD is where this is my first product. This is my second product. Now tomorrow, if you have to learn something on your own, what is the template? How you are going to approach? So I will be covering that in 2, 3 classes. That will be a quick one to give you a glimpse like how what all points you need to take care when you are moving to a different product. So HRSD is what we'll do in that phase. And post that these are 2 workshops. These 2 workshops will tell you like if you are a business analyst, you are working into a project of a service now, how your day would look like. If you are stuck somewhere, what would be your guidance, whom to reach out, and how and what are your support points, like if there is one particular workshop that you have to conduct, so how will you gather information on that part, how will you prepare yourself? So we will learn about that part in this workshop. Then there will be a last workshop. In the last workshop we will look at what all certifications, so I'll tell you certification little advanced so you can start preparing for it. We will also look at what are the expectation in the interview. And we will also tell you what are your next steps. After training is over, what all you will be doing and how we are going to help you. So this will be your uh, uh, agenda for next 2.5 months. So as I mentioned that we will be starting with BA fundamentals. So today we are going to start with our first phase. So this is our first phase, business analyst fundamentals. Uh, in this, uh, BA fundamentals, we are going to have roughly 6 classes, and I mean 3 for this week and 3 for next week. Just to inform you that in each of these, I mean, you will be receiving weekly assignments. You will have hands-on experience. In each of these phases, there will be certain part that you will be doing on your own. I will be telling you how to do it in the class, and then some assignment will be given to you on weekly basis, right? That you will have to complete. After completion of this course, you will be able to apply for entry-level BA and more specific ServiceNow BA roles, right? You will have a very good hands-on experience. You will be if you're already a BA, you will be upskilling from a generic BA to a ServiceNow focused BA. Will also help you with the just a moment. Will also help you with certification. The prime certification in ServiceNow is CSA, that is known as Certified System Administrator, and will also help you prepare for job readiness. So this is what you will be seeing for the next 2.5 months. So before we proceed, any question, anything that you have in your mind?
Yes, I have one question just
Yes, please.
about the certification. Do you guys are
Mhm.
only working with us about preparation for certification, or you guys are gonna do it actually give us the certification?
Will only help you how to prepare for certification. Exam you will have to do on your own.
Yes,
Moreover,
that's
will
correct.
help, right? So as I mentioned, the CSA is Certified System Administrator.
Mm-hmm.
So this administrator part is covered here. Service and admin fundamentals. So we'll teach
Okay.
you about theory, we'll teach you about what question you can expect, we'll teach you how to
Mm-hmm.
tackle those questions as well as you will also understand service and admin, right? Now we'll
Okay.
help you with dumps, we'll help you with everything. So that part will be taken care. You just have to prepare on your own,
Okay. Got
right?
it.
I'll give
Thank
you
you.
the strategy and everything. Perfect. Any other question from anyone?
I have a question how about the ITIL certification? Will you touch upon that?
ITIL?
Because
Okay, yes.
Mhm.
ITIL will be covered here. It will not be a certification that will help you with, but will tell you what part will be required in your job, in your interview. So in the starting, before I start ITSM, I'll tell you about ITL. So that is NY training. So we'll tell you what is ITL, how ITL is going to be useful, and what is the relevance of ITL in ITSM. So that part you will have a understanding of ITL. Will recommend you do it on your own, but not a compulsory one that it is important. So I'll tell you about ITL certification in third phase. Is it clear? Okay.
Yes, it's
Now,
clear.
perfect. Now, there are certain rules when we are in this class. First rule is that whatever I am going to explain, I'll have this PPT will work as my like I'll have those training points that I'm going to cover. Like every class will have some agenda that I will be taking, that I will be sharing in the class, and that I will be taking the points. This is my whiteboard wherein I'm going to explain everything. Every 10 or 15 minutes, I'll stop, I'll take a pause, I'll take your questions. After this class, I mean, if you have any question, you can raise your hand, you can put it into the chat, or during that pause window, you can ask your questions. So you will have two opportunities during those breaks, or during those pauses, or at the end. You can ask your questions. Second, after like today's session is over, from tomorrow onwards, I'll initially first 5 minutes, I'll take your questions. Like if you have any question from the previous one, or you want to share something, or any query you have, so I'll take your questions. Maybe if it is a quick one, I'll answer then and there. If it will take some time for me to explain, then that part will be answered at the end of the session. The reason is I do not want to jeopardize the agenda that I want to cover for that particular day. Again, we'll complete the agenda. I'll take pause after 10 or 15 minutes. I'll take your questions, I'll answer. And then at the end, you will again get an opportunity to ask questions. Apart from this, soon WhatsApp group will be created. I think it is already created. You will be able to post into the WhatsApp group. You can ask your queries. I would suggest that fellow candidates or fellow students should be able to help each other. I will definitely be there. I'll answering those questions. At any point, we require more discussion. We require more explanation. I'll take those questions in the class itself. So at any point, whatever questions you are having
Karthi,
during the sessions, and that is next point, whenever you are not speaking, you will put yourself on mute. So at any point, whatever questions you are having during the session or after the session, those queries will be clarified and your questions will be answered. So now we are going to start. Today's agenda is we want to understand, see, this complete entire course is about ServiceNow Business Analyst. So we'll take ServiceNow little later. First, we'll start with Business Analyst. And we are going to make this interaction, this training a little interactive. I want you to participate. So I will be asking, you're able to answer, you're able to understand what we are teaching. So either you can respond by unmute yourself, or you can put a reaction, thumbs up, and that you're able to understand. At any point you have question, you can raise your hand, or maybe you can put your question in the chat, or maybe you can ask into the pause sessions. So first, we are going to understand today, as a business analyst, what is a business analyst? And then second, what are your roles and responsibilities? A quick question. Does anyone knows about what is a business analyst? Since you have enrolled into a course of ServiceNow Business Analyst, so you must be having some background, some notion, some understanding. What is your understanding today about business analyst? Anyone?
Well, I can say just
Mhm.
a few. To make it simple, business analyst is the one who is just translating the requirements and everything just to technical team, and just from technical team to managerial team. It's just a bridge between stakeholders, project management, or whoever is in the top decision makers in technical team. Whoever is passing, the things or the instruction or orders to the technical team, like development team. He is a bridge between these two entities, just translating the things from one to another, from management to technical, from technical to management. That's all.
Okay, that's a good start. So yes, business analyst works as a bridge between two entities. This is your business analyst. So we have two sides. One is known as business side, and another is known as implementation side. Implementation side is also known as technical one. Business side is your client side, right? So there will be certain requirements from the business. So as a business analyst, you need to understand those requirements. You need to understand their expectations, their pain points, and then communicate those points to implementation team, technical team, so that they can implement those requirements for them. In this training, in this case, those requirements will be specific to ServiceNow, right? So ServiceNow, so business analyst sits between these two sides, help them in communication, business language into a technical language, and technical language into a business language. So whenever there are any concerns on the technical team, business analyst would be able to communicate it to the business and get it clarified. If they have certain expectations, they have certain requirements that needs to be completed, business analyst will take those requirements and take it to the technical team. Let me share my screen for the first slide. What is a business analyst? It is a bridge between two and, as I mentioned, there will be a business needs and then there are technical solutions. What does, so at the end, what business analysts provide by having these communication between two ends, they drive values. Now there are certain words, there are certain terminologies, right, that you will have to remember. First word here is values, right? So you need to drive value whatever communication you are having with business or from implementation team or during any workshop. What are those values? Those values should be that you should be able to first identify problem, right? If they have some requirement, those requirement will be based on certain problems. They would be facing some issues, they would be facing some pain points, some challenges. Based on those challenges, they want some change in their environment or change in their company. That will help you to, that is going to help you understand their needs and then what to implement there. Part as a business analyst is to identify the problem. Second part is once you have identified problem, then gather requirements on those problems. Like what needs to be done to address that problem? What needs to be done to solve that problem? Third thing is based on those requirements, then there will be a solution designing. That a particular solution will be shared that okay, if you have this problem, this is what you need. So this is the solution that will work to take care of your needs. So that is what you will drive during these discussion with the business team, right? Now, one important factor here is as a business analyst, since you are having these discussions with the business team, uh, technical team, the important part here is that you are not involved in coding, right? Though, if I talk about ServiceNow, ServiceNow is a platform that is low code or no code. Remember this term again. I'll keep highlighting these words. Low code, no code. It means you will have minimum coding or no coding at all. Basically, how you're going to develop something is based on configurations. You would have, I mean, there is a term again that is known as drag and drop, right? It means that you do not have to write a piece of code. You simply has certain functionalities, you drag it and you drop it, and then you start developing. How does it work? This also you will be seeing soon when we will move into the next phase, that is ServiceNow admin. But the important part is there is low code, no code, and even in low code, that also you do not need to do as a BA. So BA is not involved in coding. The only part that you will be doing is talking to the client, understand their problem, gather requirement, and help in proposing a solution. That solution will be implemented by this technical team, right? So a BA translates the language of business into a language developers can understand. That is where they will be able to implement that solution. Now, before I move to the next slide, do we have any question on the first? Do we have a quick understanding? If there is a question about what is a business analyst, what do you do as a business analyst? So this could summarize your starting point that if a definition is asked and what do you do as a business analyst, this is what you can mention. So any question from anyone on this slide?
No, we are good.
Yes, yes, Bhagishri.
Hi. Just a
Hi.
doubt.
Mhm,
How do they actually identify a problems? Like without understanding the requirements, how do they
mhm.
actually get, I mean, jumping into identifying problems and providing the solution? Just to clarify, maybe I understood in
Okay,
the
very, very
wrong.
good question. Very good question. So there are two answers to your question. First answer is you will have to wait for my next upcoming slides.
Okay.
Second, see, we are covering everything here. If I give you a quick glimpse that first, you will be understanding your responsibilities. Then we will show you how a project looks like. In a project, what methodology you will use to drive that project. How do you communicate to to the stakeholders? Then how do you gather requirements? How do you understand their problem? And
Great. Okay.
once you have gathered that information, how do you write it into a language that technical team can understand? That is known
Understood.
as use case and user story. So
Okay.
this is what we will be covering in next 4 to 5 sessions, or
Okay.
maybe 6 sessions, right? So you will understand it.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Now we'll move towards next slide. That is the core responsibility, or what is your role as a BA. So first part is understanding again business needs and challenges. How do you understand this? So to understand those business needs and challenge, first part for you is to understand their as is. Now whatever I am mentioning here, remember these words. And to make it more simpler for you, I will be sharing one glossary, glossary of BA terms. Not now, but at the end of this phase. Like by the sixth session, you will receive some study material, and you will also receive one glossary, wherein all the definitions will be given about drag and drop values. And if I talk about here, what is as is, what is to be, so that you remember these words. Now why do you need to remember these words? Because when you are talking, when you are going into the interview, so these words will be served as someone who is an experienced BA who understand the process. At the same time, when you will be part of a job, you will be working as a ServiceNow business analyst, so you will be gathering information, and these terminologies will be helpful. How? We'll see now. So one question is, how do you identify business needs and challenges? First part is to analyze their current process. So how do you analyze current process? Or analyzing current process is known as is. As is means current process, their current state, and CMO. CMO is current mode of operation. So first, before we even jump on to gather information or tell them a solution, first I need to understand what is their current state. For example, you want to get into ServiceNow business analyst, but first I need to understand what is it that you are doing today. How what you have today is going to help you what you want to do tomorrow. So it is important to understand their as is state. So if someone asks you what is as is means we want to understand their current process, we want to understand their current state, we want to understand current mode of operation. How do they operate? So based on this only, I'll get to know about their needs and challenges. Now, based on what they have today, then I can move on to understand what they are expecting. So to be will become their future process. For example, maybe if I give you a very simple example, and most of us would have used that particular process. That is, you are into a company.
No, I'll pick some games. To see for later? Huh? To see for later? Like, no, no, it's a. I'm
So you are into a company. Now you want to take a leave. Maybe the current process says that you will reach out to your first manager, and then you reach out to your HR, and then you take a leave with their permission. This is their current process. Now, there are various challenges with this current process. This is cumbersome. This is manual. We cannot track it, right? Everything is verbal. Maybe the to be process is that you might you have a portal. On that portal, you can check your leaves, whatever leaves are remaining. Then you are applying it on portal, and then on portal itself, it is approved by manager and HR. Here they have reviewed and provided a go ahead, and HR has approved it, and you are granted a leave. So understand the two process. First is as is, then I have to be. So understanding as is and to be will help you to identify problem, will help you to gather requirements, will help you to understand the analysis. What is the gap between what we are doing today and what we want to do after some time or maybe in future. So to be becomes your future process, your future state, and at the same time FMO. FMO is future mode of operation. How you are going to cover it in future. Then once you have identified this as is and to be, based on it, you start documenting things. This is another requirement or the role of a BA, that you document requirements. Now, for everything to work, for anything, for this implementation team to implement or to develop, they need to write, they need to have some documents. Why documents are important? Because whatever documents or whatever information you have gathered, this needs to be documented. There will be certain documents created. Those documents need to be reviewed and approved. Approved by whom? Approved by business side. Why? Because business side. Tomorrow after maybe suppose you have taken their requirements, you understand what needs to be done, and you have instructed, suppose there is no documentation, you have instruct, this is your day one, or I would call it week one, right? And week two, week three, just giving you a sample timeline. So in week one, you understand the process, you understand business challenge, right? So you took it maybe 1 or 2 weeks, you completed your work, and then you mentioned it to your implementation team that okay, this is what a client is expecting. You start implementing it in ServiceNow. The implementation team or technical team started working on it, right? Now, in week five, client comes to and says that, hey, I want to change the requirement, or this is not what I need. I want to add something else. So now, whatever effort you have put into for next 2 weeks or in the initial 4 weeks, that will be in vain. That is of no use. I mean, certainly of some use, but your efforts have gone into vain. So what we do in that case, that at the point when we have agreed to what is there as is, what is there to be, what needs to be done, you started documenting it. That document will be reviewed and approved by client. So now we have something that is known as, there are two meaning of SOW. First, scope of work. Now we have a written, reviewed and approved scope of work. That this is what we need to do. If any changes comes to it, then there will be a new version. So maybe version 1 is what you agreed on, and maybe version 2 if they want to change. But you have something to track and something to look forward. Otherwise, if something is not documented, then it will be difficult for you to track and even have any proof, right? So the important skill or the important role of a BA becomes that you start documenting these requirements. So you have certain document that you need to create. Some of the documents are, let me first highlight these things. As is, CMO, FMO, current process, future process, scope of work, and okay. So certain documents are BRD, FRD. I mean, there are more documents as well. We'll understand then when we'll move towards that particular session. So BRD is your business requirement document. FRD is functional requirement document. As the name suggests, business requirement will give you high level requirements of business, what they're expecting. And functional requirement is how product should function, what should be the behavior and all those needs to be documented into these documents, right? And then they will be reviewed and approved, which will be later on shared with technical team. So this also, how to write BRD, how to write FRD, we will be doing it in next week. In this week, we are doing starting to bring you to the speed and bring you to understand what a BA would do. Then there will be coordination between stakeholders and developers. Now, for now, we are assuming that we only have two sides, but trust me, there are another dimensions also. We will have more part of it. So BA would be like this. BA, there is stakeholder 1, stakeholder 2, stakeholder 3, stakeholder 4, and stakeholder 5. When we know that stakeholder 1 type is business and stakeholder 4 type is ServiceNow implementation team. Apart from this, we also have other types also. What are those types? We will learn them again also after some time, maybe in next sessions. There is, I mean, for now, just let me tell you that there will be a delivery team, there will be users, and there will be a product team. We'll know about all of these things in upcoming classes. But for now, just understand two sides, business and technical team. We'll know about all of them in upcoming classes. So I'll tell you how does it work. Then, so you will be coordinating among between these different stakeholders. Now, another part is that you will be also helping in validating solutions. Now, if I look at the timeline, first you took the requirements, you documented those requirements, then those requirements will be developed by a technical team. Now, one of the other important skill or role of business analyst is whatever requirements you have gathered here. Now you have some understanding how the product would be working or what are the expectations. Now you need to validate after your implementation team or technical team has developed their solution. Is it actually same what is expected here? What was expected here? So you need a validation. Since business analyst has done that part in the initial phases, so he will be able to validate the solution. Okay, this is what we actually understood how the functionality would look like. So you will be validating solutions. First, you will validate and then business team will validate. From business team, there are UAT testers. UAT is known as user acceptance testing. There are certain testers from the business team who would be using a product before it goes live into the market. So those users will test whether whatever requirements were given to you, are they working as expected or not, right? So this becomes your responsibilities. There are more responsibilities as well that you will understand once we do a deep dive of a BA role and once we move towards ServiceNow part. See, one example, HR wants to automate employee onboarding. Employee onboarding is whenever you are joining a new company, there will be set of activities that you will have to go through, you will be performing. So, HR wants to automate that onboarding process. Maybe not completely, but at least some part of it. So there will be some on this. So this becomes their requirement. On a very high level, this is their business case. Then as a BA, you will be identifying their pain points. What is the issue that you are getting today during employee onboarding? Can you tell me the different process that you have? Right. Then you understand what needs to be done in future process. What is it that you're expecting? So you will be gathering requirements on those, understand the different workflow, how does it starts, how does it end, and those needs to be documented, shared with the development team, and then they will be validated. If I move towards to the next, now in most of our the important skill that is there in IT today is digital transformation, and that is evident and very much visible in every walk of you know company. You talk about any company, definitely they will have an IT setup, and the most required part of any IT setup is that whatever work they are doing, they want to digitalize it. What are the benefit of digitalization? Digitalization? That first part is you are improving their process, right? In manual process, like someone can follow. Suppose there is a process. Let me tell you first, there is a manual process. In manual process, suppose you have written that you need to perform step 1, then step 2, step 3, step 4, and step 5. Maybe there is a process that is 5-step process. Process would be any work that you are doing into a company for a to complete certain objectives. So this is your start point and this is your end point. Suppose this work is not tracked, right? This is a manual process. Now, first employee can follow all the steps or maybe follow one more step. Second employee will skip one step. Third will skip 4 steps. And another employee might, perform totally a different step. So you see, the process itself is not standardized. How can we standardize it? By making it digitalize, by realizing it on certain tool, by realizing it on certain platform. Now, what is the benefit here? Whenever you are realizing those steps into some platform, at least you can see who is performing correct step who is performing all the steps. If they are missing, you can at least guide them, you can at least teach them. And that is the best part about digitalization. So what benefits you are getting there? First, you are improving process. At least the process is trackable. If you are bringing in automation, then what benefits it is reaping? It is will be giving you efficiency. It is saving your time. It is saving money. At the same time, the customer experience, the customer satisfaction improves. So in platform like ServiceNow, ServiceNow is all about workflow. What ServiceNow says that you have a process, I will bring it into ServiceNow so you can benefit out of it. Those process that I will create a workflow in ServiceNow, I can automate it. Even if not automate, I can improve it. You can track it, and I can create different personas. What are these words? We will understand these things, how to bring any process into ServiceNow and how to help it. So BA will help organization move from manual workflows into digital workflow or automated digital workflow, right? Okay. Before I move forward, any questions so far?
No.
No? Okay, great. Let me look into the chat. Do we have something? Okay, no question here as well. Perfect. We'll take it slow, but at the same time, I am also ensuring that you understand. A good foundation will lead you to understand a good understanding of BA, and it will also help you to uh, move forward when we are understanding ServiceNow part. So in on a very high level, if I tell you, if we have different phases, these are your key responsibilities. First phase is discovery. Discovery is we try to understand or we try to discover or gather information or analyze requirements. Right. Second phase is analysis. In analysis, I based on those requirements, based on those elicitation, based on discovery, I will analyze that what certain pain points will be mentioned by the customer. Certain points when we are gathering requirements, we will have to analyze. We will have to understand. We will have to see how we can create like what is there as is process, then how we can use it into their 2B. And that
पता नहीं
also
इस पे
becomes
क्यों आ
my
जाते ऊपर इन्हीं बारी समझाया
then we will move towards in the analysis, I'll do a as is. Then we'll move towards design process. In design, we'll understand their 2B workflow, how that particular process would look like, how to create a workflow, right? What would be the approvals, how to complete it, how will it start, what would be the endpoint. Once we have done this part, then I'll move toward implementation and validation. Implementation is where technical team will come into place and they will start putting those things onto the service now. Once they have developed it, then there will be a UAT process, will approve that UAT, those testing will be done. If there is anything that is not working, we'll raise defects and then we'll try to resolve those defects. So if you see in the initial phases like discovery, analysis, and design, you will be doing most of the task, like 70 to 80%. But as we move towards next phases, implementation, validation, your responsibilities will be little relieved. You would be maybe involved 50% of the time because later point of time your developer will take a lead because they will have to develop things, right? You've already done your part, you've already provided the foundation, you've already provided the documentations. So see, this is discovery, then analysis, then design, then I have implementation, then I have validation. I will be telling you a complete end-to-end software development lifecycle maybe in next class, but for now, these are your high-level points. As I mentioned, I'll slowly bring you to the speed. I do not want to, throw away everything in the first class, but slowly you will be understanding these things. So important skill in this slide or during these phases, what I can tell you is, as a BA, your responsibility would be to understand and asking the question of why. That why do you want to do this? Why do you want to improve? Why do you want to bring this requirement? And then you move towards what you want to do and how you want to do. Right. So understanding why becomes very important. If they want to do anything, understand why they want to do, right? And then understand what is it that they want to do. If you ask me certain deliverables that you will be doing, you will first create a BRD, as I mentioned here, business requirement document. So these becomes your deliverables. BRD, FRD, you will be also asked to create user stories. User stories is a smaller component of a bigger requirement. What is a user story? How does it look like? How to create a user story? We will learn it soon. But for now, understand. Then there will be process flow. This is an important skill as a business analyst that you need to, suppose if you ask me any process, I should be able to draw it. I should be able to create a workflow. I should be able to create a diagram out of it so that I can understand how does it move. How does it move from one place to another place? So process flows becomes an important that you will have to provide a visual representation. How to create a diagram, we will learn it. I'll I'll show you how to create a diagram and I'll also ask you to create it. We will do it soon. Then another part becomes UAT scenarios or maybe UAT test scripts. How to write a test script, how to create a UAT scenario, this also we will learn soon. Then I might have to create training materials and SOPs. Since you have understood what are the requirement of a product, what needs to be done, and how that product will function, so you should be able to create a training material. Training material is how to use a particular product. So you're creating a material for the future users who will be using that product. So these become your important deliverables as a BA. Now, whatever we have discussed so far, if I tell you for a BA interview, we already have prepared 2 to 3 questions. Like, what are your responsibility as a BA? What is a BA? What are your deliverables? Right. So every slide is somewhere answering your interview question. So understand and give your full attention to these slides, to this understanding, to what is being explained here. Now, what is the difference between a regular BA or a ServiceNow BA, right? First, there are certain aspect like focus, engagement, deliverables, and how does it changes in ServiceNow. So a regular BA will do requirements and documentation. A regular BA will do more of it's a heavy documentation. You will be working with stakeholders and product owners. But if I talk about ServiceNow, it is more about designing. It is more about optimization. It is more about writing those stories on ServiceNow. You will be working with process owners because we are creating workflows here. We are creating steps, how to perform those steps in a particular workflow. You will be working with architects. Certainly, there will be product owners, but these are, see, understand when I talk about ServiceNow BA, you have this skill plus ServiceNow related part. So there will be deliverables like in regular, just a moment. As a regular BA, you have BRD, FRD, user stories, UAT. But when I talk about ServiceNow, it's more about understanding the workflows, creating process maps, solution designs, right? You've since less of the coding is involved, so you understand what are the best practices that needs to be implemented. And there are certain words like out of the box, what ServiceNow is giving you in the base instance. These word instance and all those will also be discussed and informed to you at later point when we will move towards ServiceNow. So if I can tell you in short, a ServiceNow business analyst is a regular BA. On top of it, what are ServiceNow related best practices? What are ServiceNow related information that you need to understand? If I tell you uh, a regular BA is voice of business, then a ServiceNow BA will be the voice of processes, voice of process improvement. In another term, how ServiceNow plays a role that you already would be having a setup. See, suppose ServiceNow sits here in the middle. This is your ServiceNow. Then even if you already have a tool known as Workday or a tool known as Oracle, or maybe you have database servers, or you have SAP. Now suppose you already have some process, but those process are not aligned. So what ServiceNow can do? ServiceNow can bring all of these tools, all of these process together, and it brings a synergy. Now everything, instead of working in silos, like instead of working separately, they are working together. But for that, ServiceNow need to understand what are the processes of Oracle, database servers, SAP, Workday, and how they are interrelated. So that is what ServiceNow will do to your environment. We will learn more about it when we will move towards admin part of ServiceNow. If I move to the next slide, this is how a typical flow looks like. First, to identify business pain points, understand their manual process, gather requirements from SMEs and end users. You will be working with developers and architects, validate solutions via test cases, supports go live and user training, right? This is what you will be performing into a ServiceNow project roles, a ServiceNow specific project. This is how the sequence would look like. There will be more between these lines that we will be understanding soon in the upcoming sessions. Certain skills that you require as a successful BA is certainly there are functional skills, then there are soft skills. First, let me start with soft skills. Soft skills are how you are communicating. Are you able to understand um, the pain points or critical thinking? Do you have a problem solving mindset? And how you are going to manage stakeholders? Certainly, documentation is also there in soft skills. So these are important skills that you will be requiring while working into ServiceNow specific projects. Now, on top of it, what are functional skills? Definitely, we are going to train you here. Understanding ServiceNow admin, that is coming up in phase 2. Understanding of ServiceNow product, that is coming up in phase 3, 4, 5. Familiarity with agile tools, that is also coming up in phase 4. Process modeling, that how do you whatever process is being told to you, how do you realize it, or how do you create a visual representation, that we are going to cover in current phase, that is BA responsibilities, as in this phase 1 BA fundamentals. So we'll also see how to create it on Visio. Visio is Microsoft's product. Then there is draw.io, lucid chart. We'll pick one of the tool, and then I'll show you how to create a diagram. You will also be able to create it. We'll also learn how to use Jira, um, and ServiceNow Agile. If I train you on one tool, it is very easy for you to move towards another tool, because every client will not be using same tool apart from ServiceNow. So these are your skills as a successful BA. We are going to train you here. We are going to uh, also train here as well. I will be asking certain questions. I will be giving you certain scenarios when I want to understand, when I want to see whether you will be able to observe, whether you will be able to extract information out of a given scenario. Now, before I move towards the end of session, this is a key summary and takeaways that we have from this session. First, BA acts as a bridge between business needs and technical implementation. The focus is on process understanding, requirement clarity, user validation. In ServiceNow specific, you will be realizing the real business outcomes via workflows. You will learn to think in process, not just features. So one thing which I want you to inculcate and which I want you to understand, and which you will be able to understand, or which you will be able to do, is that by end of these sessions, maybe phase 2 or phase 3 sessions, you will be able to realize any process into a step-by-step uh, uh, workflow. Like if I tell you any flow or any process, you will be understanding that what is step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, and how does it work. Because if you understand every process with steps, on those steps only you will be creating a workflow. On those steps only you will be bringing in automation. So one thing that I can tell you is a great BA doesn't just gather requirements. You uncover the opportunities to improve a particular process, to bring values, to save the cost, to save the money, and increase or maybe uplift customer experience. So this is it about today's session. We'll have a session tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. and then there will be one more session on Friday at 8:30 p.m. Let me know if you have any query and how was the session, anything that you want to share. Um, I'm open to your questions. Yes, Surinder.
Uh, Hi, Jay. Yeah, actually, my question is regarding the discovery phase.
Mm-hmm.
During the discovery phase, we need to identify needs, and my question is, each company would have different types of teams and different kind of shareholders in different
Mm-hmm.
domains. So,
Right.
as a starting point, how can we identify the persons from whom we can ask these kind of analytical questions to gather requirements, to understand pain points and everything?
Good
Like,
question.
thank you.
What I can tell you is today I have just given you a very holistic view of a BA or BA roles and responsibilities. In the upcoming sessions, we are going to touch each of these things, like how a project look like, what are the various phases of project, how a project is delivered, and how to identify the stakeholders. Once I identify stakeholders, how do I ask questions? How do I gather requirement? So if you want to get a deeper view or drill down view of how to identify stakeholders, if we have different stakeholders, how do we ask questions, then we have it coming in fourth session. But to give you a quick answer, uh, yes, stakeholders are not going to be same each time. How do you, and it is not always going to be a set uh, process that you will follow in each of these client, but there are certain set questions, certain understanding, certain function, certain processes that you can bring in from where you can ask questions. What are those points that we will be covering here, Surinder? Is it clear?
Yeah, thanks.
Because in single class, I have a single class for to cover everything. That I will not be able to answer it quickly right now. But yes, we have certain methodologies, we have certain questions that we need to ask. Yes, I think, let me see who is. Okay, you can ask Mehboob, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Great session. I wanted to find out what are some of the tools or methods of documenting the as-is processes. Do you just use Excel, or is there a tool, or what? How does one go about documenting as-is processes?
Okay. For as is process, it's usually since as a BA, you will be mostly dealing with uh, the products that you will be involved are these. First, you will have ServiceNow, there will be Jira, there will be Confluence. There can be one of these agile tool, Azure DevOps, Agile Development, and in process modeling, you will have Visio, Lucidchart, Draw. But if I specifically talk about as is process, so I need to understand where they have these documents stored. It can be on SharePoint, right? If maybe they have a Teams channel wherein they have stored all of those documents. And where do you document those requirements? In most of the cases, it is you are using the basic tools of Microsoft uh, presentation like PPT, Excel, and Word document. So primarily these are your tools. Then it also depends. Maybe some of the customers are using Microsoft, some are using Google Docs. But these are your simpler tools wherein you will be having your as is process. Or maybe if I talk about, if it is about written statements, it's on three documents, on three these tools like PPT, Excel, and Word. But if there is a process diagram, maybe they might have some tool like Visio, Lucidchart, Draw.io, or maybe anything. Or they would be having certain PDFs created for them. Those can be stored on certain SharePoint.
So is
Hope.
that the
Mhm.
normal process in most
Right.
organizations?
Most of the
Um,
organization, this is what they follow.
so if I was, because
Mhm.
as
Sorry.
is process, you want,
Mhm.
sorry, if I'm documenting as is process, I want to see
Mhm.
at a high level
Mhm.
where potential improvements can be done. And if you
Mhm.
have a lot of documents with, it sometimes can be confusing trying to see where the improvements can be done.
Okay.
So it seems like to me that basic tools of Microsoft or Jira or Confluence would be probably the ideal tools to provide you with that level of understanding. Is that correct?
Okay. That's correct. But uh, that is fine. But that will be applicable if the
No.
client is using it. If client is not using Jira and Confluence, then how will he provide those information on Jira? That is where I mentioned it totally depends on the client. It totally depends on the client's environment. And gathering information or understanding as is from document is just one method of gathering, understanding their as is. There are other methods also, right? You will be having workshop, you will be having focus session. So as I mentioned in the previous answer as well, this is just a starting point. I have a whole lot to cover in upcoming classes. So how do you gather those requirements? That is also being covered here. What are the different requirement gathering and how do you document them? So that still needs to be completed in upcoming session. So it's gathering requirement from the as is, I mean from the current documents is just one method. I have other methods as well through which I'll uncover those information.
Super. Thank you.
You're welcome. And also as we are moving into, we have already moved into an AI era. So why cannot we use AI there? Right? I have a document, we have a co-pilot. You take those documents, enter into Copilot and take a nice summary. I understand there are a lot of documents, but then to make your work easy, to make your life easy, that is where we have AI. Hope that answers your question, Mehboob.
Yes, yeah, it helps. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes. Noshiba, right?
Yeah, that's right, Jay.
Yes,
Wonderful
please.
training. Thank you so much for the amazing class. Well, I just have, basic two questions. Um,
Mm-hmm,
Already that has been answered, but I just need a little bit of clarity that will you be going in details with, I've been working as a BA and I worked on Jira.
mm-hmm.
So will you
Right.
be going in detail with Azure DevOps, then Confluence, and do we go into
Okay.
the, tech part of that? Just a basic question.
Understood.
Mm-hmm.
So just to explain the way you have Jira,
Mm-hmm.
in ServiceNow we have, um, let me come here. We have a SPM tool. This is
Okay.
known as strategic portfolio management. The way we have
Okay.
Jira, understand ServiceNow also have a similar tool. It
Okay.
is in SPM product, agile development, how to
Got it.
write user stories, how to run a sprint.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want you to do is I want you to understand this part
Okay.
because we are learning ServiceNow. Now,
Correct.
if you understand one tool, it is very easy for you to move towards uh, Jira or towards
Mm.
Azure DevOps. But
Okay.
just for your understanding, because some of you would be new to Jira, I'll tell
Mm-hmm.
you one project in Jira,
Okay.
how to
Perfect.
create user story, or maybe I can help you. Maybe you can help there, right? You
Yeah,
already
yeah,
have
sure.
experience,
Of course.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that we will do because this
Mm-hmm.
is same if I tell you that I have different tools for creating diagram,
Mm-hmm.
like here. Visio is there, Lucid chart is there, draw is there.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Mm-hmm.
learn creating diagram on one, you can easily hop on to the other tool,
Got it. Mm-hmm.
right? So we'll
Yeah.
definitely look at one of the tools, but rest you will be able to figure out because the
Okay.
terminologies remain same, hardly difference.
Got it. And another quick question would be what is the timing? Is it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 8:30 to 10 every week? Or will it be different? And will you be our coach for next 2 months, 2.5 months?
Okay. For this week, we are providing 3 sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Those are free of cost, just to
Mm-hmm.
get you up to the speed. So for this
Mm-hmm.
week, it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 8:30 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Next week onwards, it is going to be TTS. That is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and it will be 8:30 p.m. EST. The sessions would be of minimum 60 minutes and
Okay.
maximum 90 minutes, right?
Got
Yes, I will be there for next 2.5 months, and you can ask your queries. The course is designed in a way that you have a break after each class. So
it.
whatever we are teaching you, you can practice it on the next day.
Got it. Will
And by
there be
end of
any,
the week, you will be receiving assignments that you will have to complete.
thank you so much, Jay. Will there be any recorded classes? For example, if I'm busy on Tuesday or Thursday or Saturday, will there be any recorded classes?
Okay. So this is what you are getting. Each of these classes are recorded, and
Mm-hmm.
recording will be shared by once the class is over within 1 hour or
Mm-hmm.
maybe within a day. You will be getting the recorded session link. Second, by end of each phase, you will receive one study material. As some of you
Okay.
might be asking that they need the slides that I am presenting. See, the slides are only the highlight of what I want to cover. So I am providing a study material by end of each phase that will be a
Mm-hmm.
detailed version. What I'm explaining is what you will get into the slides. Not slides, into the document, into the PDFs, but not as explained detailed explanation the way I am providing it, but definitely it will be a mid of these slides plus my explanation.
Perfect. I
You
really
will be
appreciate
getting
it.
assigned. You're welcome. You will be getting assignments maybe on definitely on weekly, but sometimes on daily basis as well.
Got it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
I have a question.
Yes, please, please. May I know your name,
Um,
please?
my name is Chaitanya. My
Yes,
question
Chaitanya.
is, like as a BA,
Mm-hmm.
will we be into any projects in ServiceNow, like in a maybe a series of projects in
Okay.
ITSM for us to
Mm-hmm.
understand the real-time environment, how a BA works in a real-time project, for us to portray in our resumes?
Yes. So the answer is yes. You will be provided with those information. As I mentioned, in between, I will be giving you assignments. And whenever I'm taking you through these modules, like in ITSM, I'll take you to incident management, change problem. So I will be sharing how the project looks like. What is your responsibilities there? How do you gather requirement? And tomorrow, maybe if you have to write incident management, how you are going to write it? What is your guide? What is your go-to place? Right? I will be sharing all of those things. About projects, once this training is over, so I think Sudesh has a team who will be helping you providing the projects, how to deal with them. I mean, how to add those projects will be added to your CVs. And I think there will be one session. Let me show you. The session will be at here, not this one. Certification and interview prep. So here Sudesh will be telling you about your next steps, about how to prepare, when to give your certifications and your mocks and uh, s- about project, about your CV preparation. So he will be mentioning all of your queries here. But yes, during the course, we will be looking at certain projects. I will be bringing in certain assignments. I will be bringing in certain scenarios that will be from the real time, the actual experience. So you will be facing those type in your in future BA roles. Hope that answers your
Thank you.
question, Chaitanya. Okay.
Yep, thank
I
you.
think there was one hand raised by. Okay. May I know your name? Is it Sarjan? I'm sorry, if I'm pronouncing it right.
I Sargan.
Oh, okay. Yes, please, please ask your question.
Yeah. So you might have answered this question, but unfortunately, I was absent on the very first day.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, in this class, what is going to be focused more? I mean, the BA role or the service now?
Okay. So the initial focus is, since this is a ServiceNow training, if you
Uh-huh.
look at the composition of this course, this is what we are going to cover. So my initial focus would be on BA, then eventually I'll move towards ServiceNow. But when I'm moving towards ServiceNow, I will not lose touch of BA. Since if I'm moving to ServiceNow fundamentals, admin, if I'm going towards ITSM, if I'm going towards SPM or HRSD, I will be covering what you will be doing in these phases as a BA. Suppose if you're
As a
working on
BA.
ITSM, where BA will come into the picture? so that you
Mhm.
understand that at each point what is the role of a BA, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
it will be, I would say, it will be going in parallel. The way we have parallel lines, one line is for ServiceNow, another line is for BA. So we'll go hand in hand.
Okay. 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 Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, Moses, is it right?
That's
I'm
correct.
pronouncing it right? Yes, yes, please,
Yes.
please ask the question.
So with the hands-on, will there be a lab or a user? Will we be able to play with the user interface in real
Oh,
time by
definitely.
with the module itself? So we'll be able to have access to actual UI and be able to save our work.
Definitely. So once we complete the first phase, like BA, once we understand the BA fundamentals, when we are moving towards ServiceNow, right? So we'll have our instance created. In instance is your playground, like wherein you can practice. You can save your work. You will be also having ITSM. You will be able to create incident. You will be able to work on notification designing, a lot of things. In short, yes, you will all have your personal, I'll tell you, we call it in ServiceNow, it is known as personal developer instance. In other language, you would have heard about sandbox, right? So you will receive your personal developer instance, how to create it and how to have your PDI, that I'll teach you here on the very first class of ServiceNow. In short, after 2 weeks, you will have your PDI. So you can practice everything there.
In the practice of this also, will there,
Mhm.
in preparation for that CSA certification, will
Ye-
there be sample or test sample examination that we can use or see prior to uh, the course, throughout the course of this class, or will that only be towards the end, or will
Okay.
that be introduced?
So, so when I'm taking you through this ServiceNow fundamentals, whatever I'm teaching, consider, and in during the teaching itself, suppose the way I was teaching today, I would have pointed out certain question that, this can be asked into your interview. Similarly, I will be sharing certain questions in the class itself. This is an important one. Understand one or two questions will be coming up from here. That is your source number one. Second, we'll also share certain question. We call it question bank. So practice your question bank from there, right? Third, of course, you need to have hands-on here. Now, before you appear for CSA, that also I will be covering soon, like here by ITSM, I'll tell you. So before you appear for CSA, ServiceNow says that before you appear for any certification, there are two parts. One part is known as that you will have to complete a training and then you will appear for CSA. This training is free of cost. I mean, this is from ServiceNow. This is a prerequisite and then you appear for CSA. So I will be sharing you how to register for the training and then how to register for exam. Exam would be where you will have to pay from your pocket. This is paid and this is free, right? So you will have 3 to 4 sources before you appear for CSA. One is your in class. Second, we'll share question bank. Third, you will do practice on PDI. And then, of course, this CSA training that you will have to do. And then there are certain critical papers that you can practice. I can share those links with you. That will be enough for you to pass. Most of our students were able to pass the CSA certificate with only these 3 things. And if you need any help, certainly Sudesh will have a plan. Sudesh will be able to share it with you later on.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes. Who is there? Radhika.
Hi Jay.
Hello.
So my question is like that because of my availability is not gonna match with the training sessions. So I'm the person who is gonna attend all the session and the recording. I'm gonna watch all the recordings.
Okay.
So my confusion was here in the assignments. What you mentioned that you will be right give us some assignments. So we have to submit the assignment in class or the next day somewhere like because I'm not able to attend on that days.
Okay, no worries. So, I mean, some of the assignment that you will have to share with me, I'll share you the email. You will have to put it on email and share it with me. That
Perfect.
assignment will be applicable only when I'm talking about BA part. But as and when I'll move towards service now,
Mm.
it will not be shared with me on email because that you will be performing on your PDI itself, right? And it is difficult for me to check everyone's PDI. So what I would be expecting there is that you practice there. I will be sharing the segments you practice on your own there, and wherever you are stuck, you send me your queries. In your case, we'll have to see. Maybe you can reach out to Sudesh, and then we'll have a plan for it.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Because see, if you have any question, you certainly can reach out in the WhatsApp. You can ask those questions. I will be happy to answer there in the group
Mm.
itself, right?
Mm.
But if you need anything else, like if someone is stuck somewhere and they need help, so as I mentioned in the starting of the session, that initial 5 minutes, I'll take your queries, then we'll go with the agenda, and last 5 to 10 minutes, I can I can even ask you to share your screen if you have any doubts. I can help you there. But in your case, we'll have to see. So you can reach out to
Yeah, the
Sudesh.
thing
He will
is like I'm
definitely.
not,
Right,
yeah,
right.
I won't
So
be there
Sudesh,
in class.
understand. Sudesh, you can reach out to Sudesh. There will be certainly a plan for it, Radhika.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. Yes, you still have some question, Moses? Or
Yes, I do. I do notice that in the ServiceNow, they're titling or bringing in AI into
mhm,
the CSA part of everything. Will that be
right.
a separate type of, or is it a different type of
Mhm.
CSA that they adding the AI platform into this? Will that be taught here?
Uh, okay. So first of all, the AI part, yes, we are covering AI part in our training. Second, we need to understand how we are going to use AI. So that we will be teaching you and what role a BA will play in ServiceNow's AI. Right. Now there is no separate that you will see that AI is separate into ServiceNow admin. It will be a piece of component that will be there. So that when you will cover here, you will be able to get it. This training. It will be minimal for now. In admin, it is not that applicable. It is more applicable in ITSM and all, like how you are going to use AI. So in ServiceNow, we call it Now Assist. The way we have ChatGPT and Claude. So in ServiceNow, we have Now Assist when we can summarize, we can ask questions, we can give prompt, and then we can work on the AI part. I hope that answers your question.
Will it also prompt coding? I know that with this role,
Mhm.
there's really no coding involved, but I'm just curious if does the CSA? Okay, you're not,
Mhm.
so no, you're not involved in coding.
There, there is no coding, right? Also in CSA, CSA is understand Certified System Administrator. When you're asking about coding, right? About development. So for that, there is a separate certificate that is known as CAD. CAD is Certified Application Developer, something application development, something like this. That is where we'll have coding. In
Right,
admin, it is plainly configuration based.
gotcha. Okay, thanks for clearing that.
You're welcome. Any other question from anyone?
Yeah, I had a
So
question.
are you teaching CAD also?
CA,
CAD, that
CSA.
certification.
No,
Yeah,
CAD is
that's it.
not there. CAD is more for developers.
So if I
It's
want to switch to
technical team.
service, yeah, can you? So if I want to do that type of course, so what is the next step for
Okay.
that?
For CAD,
Hmm.
there will be a separate track. So you can reach out to Sudesh. Sudesh will be able to help you. Here it is more towards a business analyst. And understand this CSA is required for each of the role in ServiceNow. Whether it is a BA or it is a developer or it is a project manager or it is an architect or a tester, anyone who is performing any role in ServiceNow ecosystem, he's required to have CSA. Now, for other roles, we have different certificates. Like if you want to go into development, then you should have a CAD. Is it? Does it help? Okay. Any other question?
I have
One
a question.
person.
I joined a little late, so I have a
Mhm.
question that in ServiceNow, what are the modules, business models are there? You talked about ITSM, right? Do you
Mhm.
have sales, service, or what are the models are there?
Okay. So primarily it is ITSM, but then there are
Mm-hmm.
other as well. That I mean, a detailed one I will be covering in ServiceNow admin fundamentals. But yes, to answer your question, we have. You think about any process, ServiceNow has a product for it. ITSM, you think about HR space, they have HRSD. You think about security, they have GRC, they have SecOps. You think about project management, they have SPM. You think about um, uh,
Finance?
finance, they have FSO.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You think about CRM, they also have CRM. There are a lot of tools, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
what? See, a single person may not be having knowledge on each of these. What we want
Mm-hmm.
to have is that you start learning the modules. First, we
Mm-hmm.
start with ITSM because ServiceNow started with ITSM. Then maybe you
Mm-hmm.
complete 1 or 2 project, 1 or 2 year in ITSM. Then you can move towards other. So that's how you
Mm-hmm.
increase, right? So
So
this would be your path.
in your class, what you're covering?
I'm covering ITSM. See,
Mm-hmm.
ITSM is there. We are covering SPM and we'll give you an HRSD.
SPM is what? Full form?
Strategic portfolio management.
It's something like finance?
No, 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 no. So
Okay.
see, this is just first. I cannot provide every information of the
Mm-hmm.
entire course in one class, right?
Okay.
SPM
Okay.
is more about agile development, and maybe I have
Mm-hmm.
already answered these questions earlier. So I would
Mm-hmm.
request if you can go through the recording once. Right. So,
Okay.
but just to give you, SPM is all about project management, and as a BA, you need to create user stories. You need to run a sprint.
Mm-hmm.
So that is under SPM.
Okay. Now, any analytics is also there, part of this, like reporting analysis.
Reporting is there in all of the module that is
Mm-hmm.
covered in ITSM. But a separate, there is a separate module itself, but that is not for BA.
Okay. Okay. Got you. Okay.
Yeah. Anything else?
You will cover the modules and then also you'll give a reference for the real projects, right? How do you
Right.
handle, how to start, right? How discovery happens, what are the documents, how to write functional
Correct.
specifications,
Correct.
right?
That I
Okay.
will be sharing.
Okay.
Hi there.
Yes, yes, please.
I want to
Pallavi?
know, will this program will help me to get ready for CBAP?
No.
No?
CBAP is certainly one of the uh, uh, certificate that you can appear for, right? So
Okay.
CBAP will have their own course structure. Whatever I am teaching you in this BA fundamentals, this one, this is directly useful. Like if you follow everything, this you can directly apply into your real-time project. If you are
Okay.
working with a client, this is what you need. If you are appearing for an interview, this is what you need. CBAP
Okay.
will have a lot of it in itself is a course,
Okay. Okay.
right?
Just out of curiosity, I was
No, no, no,
asking.
no. That is fine. That is fine.
Just wanted to add to that question of Pallavi. Jay, just give me a sec here.
Sure, sure.
Pallavi, CBAP is the only best certification for business analyst. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
not ECBA, not CCBA. CBAP is really good, but for us to get into a job right now, as long as we have the ServiceNow System Administrator certification and Scrum Master certification, it's more than enough.
Okay.
We don't need CBAP right now because it'll take you 3 months, 4 months to study there. We don't have so much time. We're going to finish this training, get ready for the job market your resume, and get into a job. So boom.
Oh,
That's it.
nice.
Right?
Thanks. Nice suggestion.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right.
Thank you.
So, guys, what I want to tell you is these 3 sessions is for you to understand our consultant Jay's training method. He's a very senior consultant. He's a working consultant. So we're going to bring in the actual system level knowledge, actual system level inputs, which is happening in the market right now. The modules, ITSM, HRSD, SPM, all of these modules are tier 1 high demand modules in ServiceNow where you need to have a knowledge of how to support and implementation projects you need to have. But we are targeting a business analyst role over here. Are we clear? We're targeting a business analyst role. So first you learn BA part, and then you guys going to learn ServiceNow part, and then we're going to architect a resume based on your transferable skills, your past experience, help you clear your certification, help you clear your mock interviews, and then we go into resume marketing services. Are we all clear with that? Any questions with that? So the first 3 sessions are here to get to understand us because transitioning into a job market is a very tough thing, guys. With one wrong partner, you're ending up wasting your time and money. This is an opportunity for us to get to know us. Who do you want to do partner with? Because this is a very important decision for you, right? Yes or no? Right? It's a very important decision for you, right? And we value that. So we want you to get to understand us. In the next 3 sessions, keep coming in. I can guarantee you hands down, you will not get this kind of support anywhere else. I can guarantee you that. As we speak right now, we have a candidate today who got job with TELUS, okay, as a ServiceNow BA. As we speak right now, his name is Sita Ram Choda. He studied with us. He was in the job market for 2 months. He secured his first job, first tech job. Last week, we have 3 candidates, Sasikala, Sakita, and Vijay from Calgary, 2 guys from Toronto. Pretty much every month, I see 3 to 4 guys getting job minimum. All right. The next could be you. So the job market is in high demand for BAs who know ServiceNow. If you're going to learn only BA, business analysis, you're wasting your time. You need to have specialization to get into a job market here. Are we all clear, guys? Any other questions before we wrap the day? I know it's getting too late for everyone. Any other questions? So Jay, I think we are good. So we would like to, you're invited to attend our next session tomorrow evening with the same link at 8:30 p.m. EST. Okay. Jay, you have anything from your end?
But I'm happy to hear about Sita now. That's
Oh yeah,
famous
yeah,
person.
yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, yeah, he reached out to me today,
right,
and
right.
he
He did
got
one
through
one mock.
Telus. Yeah,
Right, he did
yeah.
one
And
mock, I
guess
think, two
what,
or three
guys?
weeks back.
Guess what, guys? All these guys have got trained. They are trained through Jay, and they were trained through mock interviews also through Jay. They're all Jay's products. Okay, so you are getting trained through one of the best trainers we have. He's my apple of my eye. Jay is the best. He's my man. So guys, you are in the good hands. So please take full advantage of that. And yes, Jay Sitaram got into it. Telecom industry today, and we are working on clearing his background verification as we speak. All right. So all right. With that, can we call it a night, everybody?
Yes.
Okay, then.
Yes.
You all have a great night. Thank you, Jay, for the wonderful training. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Continue to ask questions. You guys have been such a great bunch. See you all tomorrow evening at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Have a great night, everybody.
You
Thank you.
too, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Everyone, thank
Bye.
you. Bye.